Dr. Gorka, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Speaking of Christmases and a Merry Christmas, it was certainly a Merry Christmas in Iraq as the president went to go visit the troops this week, the president and Melania. Your thoughts about this trip, both the media build up to it, which consisted of the media criticizing the president for being the first president since 2002 to not visit the troops abroad during Christmas time, and the reaction to the trip, the reaction by the troops, just the entire package. How did it come off?
Look, you just have to watch the video of the troops. How they're shouting USA, USA. How they react to the first lady, to the president. I give other examples in my book, Why We Fight, about how this man so not only to respect our military and our law enforcement, he trusts them. I put a tweet out last night. Unlike Obama, the Marines on base were allowed to carry their weapons loaded. So those that were on a security detail under Obama, that wasn't allowed. This is a man who respects, who loves our military. And look at the response from the mainstream media. For weeks and weeks and weeks, they criticize him over his not traveling to Iraq or to Afghanistan. And now what do? He goes there on Christmas Day with his wife, and now they're trying to threaten members of the U.S. military because they had their MAGA hats signed by the president, saying that that's in contravention of the uniformed UCMJ, the Code of Military Justice. It's reprehensible. I mean, it really truly shows you that if you love this country, then you understand what this president is doing. If you hate this country, if you hate yourself, then you're going to try and spin this in ways that are just not consistent with reality. It's absolutely shameful.
It's completely shameful, and it's also, what it reminds us of is how quickly the left can go to that evil switch, and how quickly they can strike the evil switch and start attacking troops for being excited about seeing their commander in chief. Like I would have to go to a few different levels, Dr. Gorka, before I would many different levels before I would ever consider criticizing men and women who are putting their lives on the line for being excited about seeing their president on Christmas Day in a war zone. I mean, a lot of various, ugly branches would have to be hit on my fall down the tree before I did that. But the Democrats turned around and that was their go-to thing immediately, upon seeing the autographed, MAGA hats and this, that, or the other. And it just, it reminds us, like you said, of exactly who we're dealing with here, and how the levels they'll go to just see this president be destroyed, really at all costs.
I think you nailed it. Last night, or the footage that we saw released yesterday, was about happiness. It was about our warfighters separated from their loved ones in the middle of nowhere, finally getting on Christmas Day to personally meet their commander-in-chief and the First Lady. They're so excited. And now CNN and reprehensible people like John Kirby, Rear Admiral retired John Kirby, who was spokesman for Obama, these people want to threaten our war fighters. They want to say that by getting your MAGA hat signed, you are involved in a political campaign that contravenes U.S. military regulations. It's disgusting. You're right. I mean, what does it take for you to go there? These people are serving us. They're standing on the wall to protect us. They're excited to see their commander-in-chief. So CNN, MSNBC now wants to threaten them with legal action. It's truly, truly disgusting.
It absolutely is. We're talking with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. He is the future host of America First with Sebastian Gorka. That's going to be launching on New Year's Day on the Salem Radio Networks, and he's joining us right now for his weekly foreign policy segment. Dr. Gorka, speaking of those troops and the cause for which they fight, when the president announced the pullout of Syria a week ago, a lot of people, myself included, were very dubious about doing that, and I still am, to a large degree, but I feel better about things now than I did a week ago when I hear the president talk about, retaining forces in Iraq as a reactionary force when things go bad in Syria, when I hear about maybe Israel taking a more proactive role in the war space against Hezbollah and Iran, those types of things. Do you feel, what was your reaction when you first heard about it, and do you sense that maybe there's been a softening among the critics of the president's move from where they were a week ago when he first announced it?
The president's critics will never stop. He could, right, come back home and go to the Potomac River in D.C. and he could walk on the water, and they'd say that the president couldn't swim. This is the level of insanity. I reached out to the White House after the announcement was made. And, I found out that the president, I was told the president has had enough of writing letters to the loved ones of service members killed in the Middle East. So when it comes to Syria, he was very, very clear about, it's time for others to step up to the plate. Very soon a report will be issued by the Pentagon, which will give all the figures of how the caliphate of ISIS has been crushed. There are remnants, there are stragglers running around in Syria, but somebody else can clean that up. It's time for our partners to take these things more seriously. And the president from the beginning has said, he's keeping his campaign promise. He wants our boys and our girls to come home. Now, he's not an isolationist. This isn't, the Rand Paul wing of, libertarianism, because when the action needs to be taken, such as the cruise missile strike against Syria before they use the chemical weapons repeatedly, he takes that action. But the idea that we're going to keep 2,000 Marines as sitting ducks in Syria as a target for bad guys, that makes no sense, and he took the right decision.
Do you think that this move, the pulling out of troops out of Syria, do you think that this is going to result in Israel taking a more proactive role in that area?
Look, Israel will. The good thing about Israel is Israel will always do what needs to be done to protect its people. I think we have to look not only to Israel, but members of the GCC, the Gulf Cooperation Council. We have to look to other actors. We have to, support individuals who either can send troops or who can, with their money, such as the Saudis, support multilateral actions. So, Israel will be active, whatever it takes, because Israel understands, as does the president, the threat of Iran, for example, exploiting any potential vacuum created. So, I'm not going to, I don't do predictions, but, Israel will do what needs to be done.
No question about it. They always have, and this president is doing what like you said, they always have, and also like you said, this president is doing what he said he would do and would be done under his presidency, which is pulling back from the Middle East in that sense, not in isolation, not a pulling of the plug, but a lessening of that role and a focus more on domestic affairs, and that certainly seems to be what he's moving towards right now. And there are a lot of people out there who voted for him who are very happy about that. And there's no question about that. Dr. Gorka, good luck on the radio program. It's going to be starting New Year's Day, Salem Radio Networks. It's going to be America First with Sebastian Gorka, and make sure to check out the book as well. Why We Fight, Defeating America's Enemies with No Apologies. Dr. Gorka, thank you for your time this morning as always.
Of course. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so much.